Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. I appreciate you taking out time to check out this video. Do what the thing says down in the bottom right. I appreciate that. So thank you in advance. Back talking about a fighting game, but we're going in a different direction. Most of the fighting games we talked about have been, traditional 2D style, more the cartoon looking style, animated and whatnot. But we're going in another direction. We're going to talk about a 3D fighter, and one, to me, the best weapon-based 3D fighter, right? Now, I'm not talking about the best one in the series just yet, because I want to show you the first one that I played, how I was introduced to this series. So we're going to be talking about Soul Blade for the PlayStation. So obviously this is preceded by the Soul Calibur game, or succeeded by, I should say, Soul Calibur games. But before then, when people, didn't really talk about Namco fighters besides Tekken, I was playing some Soul Blade, and there was one particular mode that was always the reason why I really enjoyed this game. I played this in like 99, and they had this mode that, was like very different for a fighting game. I'm a big fan of the RPG style modes in any game that's not an RPG. And they have Edge Master mode, which I thought was really cool. And the Edge Master mode is you pick a character in the game, and you start off with their base weapon, but as you go along, you earn all of these different weapons that have different characteristics. They have different stats. They look different, which was really cool to me because you have some really nice weapons depending on who you play. Now, me personally, I play a couple of characters in the Soul Calibur, Soul Edge, Soul Blade series. Primarily, I play Mitsurugi, but I also like Cervantes and Taki a lot. So those are the people that I played, the most of in these modes. Now, I will be honest. Game is a lot faster and a lot you die faster than I originally remember, but that's because I played a lot of Soul Calibur, which has definitely toned down the damage much more than originally thought. Same with Tekken. I think Namco as a whole has kind of tried to make the matches a little bit longer, which is cool. So I was playing Edge Master mode with Mitsurugi because, come on, he's a samurai, he's got a katana. I want to see what different blades that he gets, and he gets, some really cool ones. And then what I didn't realize, and I probably just forgot about it since back in the day, is that Cervantes kind of not fair in Edge Master mode because he starts off with Soul Edge, which is like the whole reason for the series in the game. And but I don't care. I still like Cervantes, not because he's the boss. And people have accused me of that, and that's not true. I just really thought the character was very, very cool, and his fighting style was really good, especially in the later ones when he gets some of the gun moves and stuff like that on his weapon. I always thought that was cool. He's a pirate, whatnot. I like those type of characters sometimes. But this is Soul Edge, so like there's no real bad character, right? You got everybody you pretty much know. There's Mitsurugi, Siegfried, Song Mina, pretty much the Maxi's master, basically. Rock's in here already, Taki, so and I can't remember her name, the Sophitia. So you got pretty much the basics for the characters that you would see in all of the Soul Calibur games to come. One thing I didn't remember as well is that Voldo is still very tough to deal with. Because the movement in this game obviously is not going to be as good as some of the later Soul Calibur games, but he's moving like he's already in Soul Calibur. But yeah, it's your standard fighting game. I always thought, prior to this, everything was hand to hand, right? The only other game I remember playing prior to this that used weapons that was a 3D fighting game was the original Dynasty Warriors, and even that was kind of more in the 2D plane, so it not really as the same. Like we had Samurai Showdown, but again, that's an animated style 2D, and so this was like, oh, they're really trying to do some different stuff out here, and I always enjoyed this game. And then when I ended up playing Soul Calibur, years later on the Dreamcast, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of already know what to do here. So it was really cool. The you got the alternate outfits and things like that, which I always thought was really cool because on Street Fighter, the only way to get different colors is to press certain buttons. So you have to figure out what button is the color that you want. Whereas in Soul Calibur, you just hold the block button and it changes the outfit. So, something that I thought they should have adopted a long time ago, which they eventually did. But yeah, I think that's I think Soul Calibur or Soul Edge or Soul Blade, whichever one you know it by, was, I won't say ahead of its time or anything like that, but it was definitely a much needed shift in the fighting game landscape as far as adding a weapon-based combat, because there wasn't really a lot of that going on, and especially not as well as this game did. And you know, I really enjoyed this game. I never really played a lot of people in this game. This is one of those games I had when I was pretty much by myself, so I spent a lot of time in Edge Master mode for that reason as well, because it's only so many times you can go through arcade mode. Even though, you know, the endings and stuff are pretty cool. They had like actually animated endings, as opposed to, again, what we were used to, which was more the still image type endings. So I thought that was another thing that Namco was pretty good about, was presenting, you know, character stories in a way that wasn't the standard at the time for fighting games. So if you have played Soul Blade or Soul Edge or Soul Calibur, who's your favorite character? Who's your least favorite character? Like I said, for me, it was Valdo, just because his awkward movements, especially back then, were, you know, a little bit too extra for me. I didn't appreciate him moving like he's in a different game and being able to avoid all my attacks and stuff. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on that series. And trust me, there will definitely be more Soul Calibur to come. As always, appreciate you checking out the video. Have fun, be safe. Peace.